This series is recommended for adult viewers only. Violence, harsh language, and themes of Shadowrun can be found inside.
Everything's
Audience,
okay.
welcome back to another high energy introduction. This is AP Gaming Real. I am also AP Gaming Real. And in addition, this is Shadowrun 4th edition, Ides of March, the 5th episode. This is not part of Arc 1, it's between arcs. And I don't know. Shocking words were said just before we started recording. Truly baffling words that
Mhm.
have me deeply emotional. Is all I'm gonna add there. We're gonna introduce ourselves by saying our names and our characters and our shadow fact. Decay's shadow fact is that unlike the rest of these asocial miscreants, he is not anti-corporate. I feel like in some of our cast talks, everyone's been like, yeah, we're so anti-corporate. I've never indicated Decay is anti-corporate. He literally showed up in the first episode wearing corp merch for Elvish Megacorp. So yeah, his secret fact, his shadow fact is that he's actually pro-corporate. He's just anti-dragon because there's a specific dragon that controls a specific corporation. No, he believes that the corporations are an important step towards society melting down so that the inevitable rise of elven superiority will rise above the chaff and wheat as the post-apocalypse sorts itself out. And let's be clear, Shadowrun is already a post-apocalypse. Like half the planet dies before first edition.
Mhm.
And then there's fucking zombies. Zombies are real in Shadowrun, and they can talk to you, which is
Hmm.
somehow worse.
Yeah. And they don't want your brains. They just want, are you really going to use that pinky? Like, you got two kidneys, right?
This is Kandra behavior, and I recognize that none of you understand what that means, but one day you'll read Mistborn and you'll catch up. Cipher, who are you, and what's your frickin' shadow fact?
A social miscreant number one here. I'm Dunamis playing Cipher,
Definitely.
and I think I'll go with my fun fact that how people like to fall asleep to certain noise. Um, you're probably thinking, yeah, Cypher's a nerd. He probably likes to fall asleep to the hum of server farms. No, no, he likes to fall asleep to the sound of a clean transmission changing gears. But his alarm when something is wrong is when it changes to a CVT, a continuous variable transmission, where it doesn't have that hard change and it just keeps going. And him waiting for that gear change wakes him up, and that's his alarm. So the subtle change between listening to a normal engine
What a
versus
nerd.
versus waiting for that gear change to happen and never it does is what wakes him up, and that's his alarm when something has gone wrong in his sleep.
I like how you preface this by being like, I know you're gonna think one thing, and I'm like, nah, it's gonna be fucking weird. It's gonna be weird as shit.
It's going to be way better than what you were thinking.
Yeah, okay. Sniff, who are you, and what's your shadow fact?
Sniff, who is Sniff, a whiff of Sniff, his shadow fact. Uh, let's see. How about we? Yeah, we can do some more backstory. We'll tie into this as we dive deeper into the episode a little bit, I think. But Sniff has three names. He's got his real sin, Charles Howard, and that's where he will be returning to at the end of his night here, and in his nice, very nice, posh neighborhood with everyone broadcasting their sins like good, upstanding citizens and wearing nice clothes and all of these things in his nice little car. And then when he's at the Midnight Nose, he is Sam Shade is the sin that he is using, the fake one, as good as he could get to cover that business. And then when he's on a shadow run, he is Kurt Kismet, his second and final fake sin that he rolls by. And that's how he manages his separation between all these various lives currently, doing his best to keep them as separate as possible.
This is real 1950s comic book writer with the alliterative fake names.
You
You
can't
know
you
it.
can't beat alliteration for
Yeah.
your identities.
Tony Stark, Mr. Stank,
Listen,
Clark.
Tony Stark does not have a secret identity. He literally told the world, "I am Iron Man."
That's true.
His secret identity is Tony Stank. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, Blitz. You got your secret fact ready, right? You had a
I
whole week
do.
thought about. Okay, good. Excellent. Why don't you tell us who you are and what your secret fact is, your shadow fact that you
Yep.
spent an entire week thinking of, so we know it's going to be super high quality.
Hmm.
People are going to wonder why I'm so aggro about just you. Well, put the pieces together, audience at home. Here's an investigation for you.
Because it's anti-elven superiority. We all know that.
Whoa, okay. It's horse shit.
I'm Savannah. I play Blitz, and my shadow fact is Blitz carries a drawing from her childhood best friend on her at all times, and it's a picture of two little girls holding hands, and it says "Best friends forever" at the top.
So sweet.
Okay. Spoon, you've got your shadow fact, right?
I sure do. Otto von Hurst, aka Landmine, lost a leg breaking into the socks in the Allied German states, and that's also how he got his name.
Well, you're in charge, boss. What do you want to do?
Okay. So our camera follows Sniff walking down the street after picking up the cred stick from the maglev terminal. He's in his distinctive long coat and hat, but we do see him duck down a side alley to where he has a small bag stashed before the night even began.
Yeah.
And as, yeah.
He takes down, the costume and he stashes that away. Essentially, this is his sort of Superman moment. Sure, all it is a pair of glasses, but at the end of the day, it's enough. It's enough. And now he's in a clean pressed, fully nice looking suit, and he is ready to go. That invisibility comes up though. The light bends around him and he melts away into that alley. And you just see a little few splashes. Or I guess slushes in the snow as he slunches off towards a parking garage in the distance.
And you get into that parking garage and pull your comlink out, switch over to the SIN for Charles Howard, and hit the find my car button, and a nice Toyota Elite goes boop boop, and you hop in, plug in the grid guide for your nice is it a high-rise apartment?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's the high living level. It's like something like a little over 3,000 square feet, roughly speaking, that they
Okay.
give you in this scenario. So it's like if it's in a high rise, it's like a couple floors of it, like a whole, a nice what do you call it? Not a flat, but a nice unit that has been purchased and put together from across a couple things there. And
Maybe not penthouse, but penthouse adjacent for sure.
there you go. It's not, yeah, it's at least, yeah, it's got a decent view.
Okay. Yeah. So, and your car takes you through the glittering buildings of downtown, pulling up outside of your building where you hop in. Your doorman opens the door for you, recognizes you, says, "Good evening, Mr. Howard. Hope you're having a good New Year."
So far, so good.
And you get back
Successful
into you get back into your building at a little bit after midnight. Take the elevator up to your apartment. As you open the door, the smell of booze hits you. Maxine has been having a night, apparently. You see your mother has passed out on the couch, a bottle of opened wine spilling out onto the fabric, which, however, has been, is hydrophobic. So it is splashing down onto the floor, but she is out cold.
Not unexpected for him. He's seen this one time too many, but he keeps doing his best. And he does his best to go through the motions, cleans up, puts things away, gets her tucked in. He's not going to try to, wrestle her all the way to the room, but gets her tucked in on the couch, gets a blanket over her. And yeah, his then just goes into his nightly ritual at that point, after making sure that she's okay, and that is just part of it for him as well. And yeah, that probably includes a long hot shower, probably some music while he's in there, some nice jazz as always, and then he's gonna pass out. And that's his night.
All right. So I think we're entering our first section of downtime, which is where you guys will spend karma, take care of basically your lives, right? Because you have contacts, you have people you care about ostensibly. This is the time to interact with them and have, scenes about your narrative life. Does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
Decay will go first.
Okay.
He's going to spend 4 points of karma to open up perception as a skill. So Decay's ability to use ultrasonic waves, I will say he hasn't told anybody else on the team that he has it, but also he's never told anyone about it because he only just recently acquired that skill. It's not a lifelong skill like murdering people or chainsaw hands. So he is practicing using ultrasonic waves in the apartment by leaving the front door open and seeing how far he can extend them, and just sitting. It's pretty normal for him to sit with his eyes closed, quietly looking at a wall, doing nothing for hours in his apartment in a super creepy and maybe depressed or possibly mental illness way. But now he's doing it with an intense focus and concentration on seeing what he can visualize using ultrasonic waves bouncing around enclosed spaces right off of glass. And so, yeah, he'll occasionally stand up with his eyes closed with the blindfold on and just kind of walk around the 64th floor, just figuring out what's going on, ignoring anyone who questions why he has a blindfold on, just pushing past them. He even Assassin Creeds them sometimes, just puts his hand on them to push past and answers no questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get some attention initially, but as soon as it's clear that you're ignoring people, they just stop coming up to you.
I also want to Decay isn't pretending that he can't see, and it's very obvious by the way he's perfectly executing corners and opening doors and moving around people that he can
stepping over
see.
trash.
But I think to everyone else it looks like martial arts practice from Decay. He's doing some fucking Shaolin Wu-Tang next level martial art training, because it's not unusual to see him going around jogging and parkouring everywhere. So maybe this is just the next evolution. They don't he's in the corner of a party going, they don't know I'm a magic user.
Well, while you went out and had fun, I studied the blade.
Anything else you want out of that, Spoon, or is that good enough for opening a skill?
That is good enough for opening a skill. Plus, you had several uses of perception during the last run that would, I would think, qualify you for upping your perception.
Cool.
Do you have any other karma expenditures you'd like to make?
I believe the book says you can only make one karma expenditure in downtime.
Well, that depends on how much downtime you want to spend.
That's the only one I have on the record. Okay. For the record, I want to save up and get Magic 6 so that I can get Astral Sight. So the next time Sniff betrays me, I can rip his soul out of his body. But I also want to be able to karate chop pure forces of fire. So, you know.
Without them having to manifest.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of those two, which one of those is the priority?
Let's let
I
the
think
audience
ripping
decide.
magicians'
Mhm.
souls
Okay.
out of their body is pretty fucking sick. Not Sniff specifically, just
Yeah.
magicians in general. They're all like, "Ooh, Stumbolt, Mana Bolt, Killing Field. Ooh, look at me." I just want to be like, "Yep, there we go.
Fine,
Got
you
your
win.
willpower." You didn't need that, right? You didn't need your material body to return to at the end of this, did you?
So you're probably also, well, I mean, I guess, are you going to want to take some astral combat then?
I
Yeah, I think
don't
Sniff could
need
beat you
astral
up in
combat.
astral combat.
Yep, I don't need astral combat because killing hands lets you attack spirits
Oh, that's
and
true. It
dual
does count.
natured creatures as if you were also dual natured. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. I don't need astral. I
That's
don't need to
scary.
cast little. I'm not a mystic adept. I don't need little
Fair
magic
enough.
spells and shit. I can throw hands just as long as I can see. Astral combat, my ass. Now, the sad thing is that eventually I'd like to go kick Bear's ass in his own realm, but there are only two ways for me to travel astrally based on the book. One is to do a fuck ton of drugs, and the second is to have Sniff rip my soul out of my body
Eh?
and take me on a planeswalk.
Come on, just ask nice.
I have to initiate first so that I can planeswalk.
Okay, okay.
So maybe in like 150 karma, we'll talk. Maybe in 2 seasons, we'll think about it.
Anybody else have any karma expenditures they would like to make?
I'm happy to take a stab.
Okay. Let's go ahead, Cipher.
I'm going to attempt. I guess let me lead into what Cipher's spending his time doing. After the verbal lashing, both giving and receiving at the end of the last session, Cipher pretty much went right back, plugged into the Matrix, and has spent an unhealthy amount of time in VR consecutively. And he's reached corners of the Matrix that he hasn't really found before. He started by going to what's her name? Going to his blogger or social. Again, not Viper.
Bite
Rory.
Lancer?
No, come here. Bite Lancer, yes. Going to Bite Lancer's page and just seeing like what's the latest buzz? Who should he try to help? And while he was there, he's more just like he was reading it because it was his routine. He wasn't actually reading it to take any action. And he just kept thinking back to his conversation with Decay. And ultimately, and we can figure this part out later, but ultimately what it is, he's trying to figure out who Decay's nephew is and seeing if there's anything he can do to help this individual. Basically to change this person's direction of course according to Decay. But because he spends an ungodly amount of time in the Matrix consecutively, and he finds these corners of the Matrix he's never seen before, I would like to attempt to submersion level 1, which requires exactly 13 karma, which is what we have.
Yeah. So you, all right. So we will cover this. We'll cover this a little bit later, but that is acceptable.
Okay. And if you need to know now, I'll be shooting for overclocking, which basically increases something, but gives me one more
initiative pass.
Yes, one more response and one additional initiative pass. So when I'm in VR, I'd get 4. When I'm
and is that specifically only when you're in VR?
Yes.
Okay.
My clear weakness is not VR.
All right. Sniff.
I would like to try to learn a spell.
Okay.
And the improved reflexes that DK was showing off were pretty great. And that's something that Sniff would be interested in picking up. But I also want to go visit Gideon Graves at some point. And I don't know exactly how the narrative aspects of learning the spell works, because I know that do you need a spell formula, or do you just need to like have studied something that looked like it? Or
so you do need a spell formula. So you'll actually visiting Gideon Graves is twofold.
Yes,
one, he
perfect.
probably has a spell formula that you could buy off of him.
Okay.
To get that spell. And then what was your other reason for visiting him?
I did want to go and just see if he'd heard of Roland Muriel.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe research. At the very least his, I'm going to call it the planar push theory.
Okay. Yeah. Planar push. I like it. Yeah. Okay. We can definitely look at getting those scenes into the downtime here.
All right, great.
And then Blitz, did you have anything you wanted to do?
Yes, I want to get even better at firing my guns.
Okay.
So I feel like Blitz probably just spends a lot of time at a firing range.
Yeah.
And practices with like moving targets and still targets and different guns, but she probably mostly practices with Pearl.
Oh, in non-karma related things, I would like to try to bind a spirit as well.
Okay. Let's see.
I feel like we're taking out all the hardest rules from
Hell
this
yeah.
book in one night.
Let's do it.
All right. So
People kept asking me to run this system and didn't understand why I refused.
let's start with
Not lightweight.
Cipher. So you are doing all of this research, delving into the deepest recesses of the Matrix that you've never been to before. Go ahead, and so for the information you're looking for because all you have to go off of is Decay as his runner name. So go ahead and make me a data search.
2. Oh, nice. It's -2 anyways. So yeah, we'll use both. And we're in VR for 2. And I don't have to resist any because Browse has -2 to fade. And I only use 2 levels.
All right.
I'd say Browse is probably more like public information though, right? So more figuring out what his name is, not necessarily like maybe if he's on like a crime list or something, but not
you're
a
trying
ton of detail.
You're trying to track down any sort of identifying information about him, which I don't think you get. Like, so with a 5, you get that you get the information of him kind of in Denver. You don't get any like names, any like family information, nothing like that, but you get when he first started showing up in like Denver, like traffic cams, like when his records started showing up here in Denver, and you basically get kind of not exactly what you already knew, but you kind of get a timeline of when DK first showed up here.
Anything like not anything that would be like on a wanted list for this or on anyone's like public violations of anything.
No, I mean he's got as far as the system is concerned,
he's clean.
He has a clean record.
Interesting.
But I mean, you know that most
DK.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know most Shadowrunners who are worth their salt have like they're Shadowrunners. They don't exist, or they exist behind false identities.
Yeah, fair enough. I need to search a specific database, which I'll have to talk to Decay about.
Mm-hmm. So, and as you are like digging into these files, you hear like it's almost too low for you to recognize, but you hear like a low, like thrumming noise as you are searching through the matrix. It almost sounds like the engine of a car going faster and faster and faster and faster. And you realize that you can now overclock. And like you feel like you're on the edge of touching something in the matrix that you've never done before. But like stepping over the boundary eludes you, but you do gain this power.
I can go from 3rd directly into 5th gear. I could skip 4th.
He's double clutching. He's not granny shifting. Fuck, man.
I love it.
He might actually get it. It doesn't matter whether he wins by an inch or a mile.
He's going the distance.
Woo-woo. All right, now I have to figure out how to incorporate all this into my sheet. This is big. Now Blitz won't be alone on turn 4.
And that also means that your resonance cap goes up by 1. Your resonance does not go up by 1, but your cap does.
I still need, and that's still going to cost a shitload to go from 6 to 7.
That's going to cost a lot.
Yeah. Very cool. Cipher is most pleased with his achievement he probably doesn't know about.
All right. And now let's see here. My cheat sheet's out. All right. Let's go ahead and we will go to Sniff and we will see about summoning the spirit.
Okay.
Were you going to attempt to bind it as well?
Yes, bind it
Okay.
specifically.
Gotcha, okay.
I had pre-purchased at creation, like the
Yes,
supplies.
the binding supplies, yes.
Yeah, I have up to 9 levels of it, but I cannot at all possibly do that much. So
Don't want me to roll 18 dice against you?
yeah, no, that would be terrifying. It would crush me, and probably I don't know what the consequences are. I forget off the top of my head, but it's probably stealing my soul. I don't. But yeah, I mean, so he's gonna go for a relatively low force on this, like probably just a force 3. But
okay, so I will see. So it's kind of like casting spells.
Okay.
If you attempt to, well, so it's the summoning is if you're up to your magic level is stun damage. If you go over your magic level, it's physical damage.
Gotcha.
And then for binding, it is let's see here. So after the opposed test for the binding, the magician must resist drain. The drain value is equal to twice the number of hits, not net hits, the spirit generated during the opposed binding test. The spirit will go uncontrolled if the magician is rendered unconscious from the drain damage. And then also if the spirit's force is above your magic rating, it's physical damage. If it's below, it's stun.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a ton of dice to throw at this. He's not like invested a ton into this ability. So
Yeah.
I think I'll probably go with a force 3 spirit of man to bind.
Okay.
And so then I just got to roll the conjuring group.
You have a lodge in your high lifestyle apartment.
I did put the lodge in the Midnight Nose.
Midnight Nose. Okay. Yeah. That makes more sense. Okay.
I will, and then I get the +2 because that's the spirit of man from the dog mentor.
Okay, so looks like 2 hits on your summoning test.
This takes 3 hours to do. And so you roll multiple tests, right?
Yeah. So you can, let's see. Yeah, it's just a post test. You're summoning plus magic versus the spirit's force.
I got you.
So let's see. Oh, conjuring is just all of your. Is that covers summoning, binding, banishing, etc. Okay.
Yep.
Oh
man, met it.
Yep. So you attempt to pull this spirit of man through, like some of the papers you have on your desk, like swirl up in a like a whirlwind of power, but you are unable to pull the spirit through, and you can go ahead and resist 2 drain.
One question: would this have? Yeah. So I didn't heal yet, so I was rolling with one less die.
Did you take physical damage?
Stun damage.
You would have slept it off.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your last die and see if it's a 5 or 6.
Here we go.
I assume I slept off stun damage too.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. So you attempt to pull. You attempt to call on the spirit of man to pull it through to the physical plane, and he's like, "It ain't happening, Chief."
Brutal. All right. Well, I have to resist the 2 drain, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's on magic. Drain. All right. I got the drain.
Okay. Would you like to attempt to summon again?
I would. Yes.
Okay.
And how many, so what's I can just do this 3 times because it takes 3 hours, or is this like once?
So that is per attempt. It takes 3 hours.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Here we go. This is going to be the winner. All right. That's 1 more than last time.
You have 2 net hits, so you have 2 net services from this
Spirit.
the
Excellent.
spirit.
Okay, and that uses up the materials on that. And then could I mean, I don't know if this makes sense, but like just do the rebinding thing to add services now?
So you've summoned him successfully. Now you need to bind him successfully.
I see.
Yes.
Ah.
So now you do, and I think it's the ritual, the binding ritual that takes 3 hours. Summoning is just like an action, I believe.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
yeah. So and it's the binding requires a ritual equal to the number of hours, equal to the force of the spirit. Okay.
Or in that time.
Yeah. So now you would roll your binding plus magic versus the spirit's force times 2. So now you're rolling against 6 dice.
That's harder.
Well, if the spirit has services it can do, why don't you just ask it very nicely to bind to you? Just have
It doesn't work
service.
that way. Are you comfortable with that level of success?
I don't know that I could do much better.
You do have 5 failures. You could reroll for an edge.
Okay. So and then when does Edge like re come back? Did we say?
So you refill edge completely at the end of a run,
Mhm.
and anytime you're on a run or in between runs, it refills every time you have a full 8 hours of sleep and a good meal.
Okay. So essentially, yeah, this is a good time to use it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
that.
Yeah, downtime is a great time to use your edge.
I will definitely use that then. So that's I reroll.
You didn't take bad luck, did you?
No, I did not. So I reroll 5?
Yep, that looks like you got 5 failures.
Okay.
Okay, 5 more failures. All right.
Oh my god.
Let's see how this goes for you.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Oh my god.
4 successes. So you fail to bind the
Punches me in
spirit.
the face.
Yeah. And then you will take drain equal to twice the number of hits. So you will take 8 drain.
Oh. I take
Sniff
Okay,
passes out.
so you take
I take
6
6.
stun damage.
Yeah, so that puts me at I'm done for the day.
Yeah, and so you summon this. So you summon this spirit so it's a spirit of man. So like those papers that were swirling around in the like whirlwind kind of coalesce into a vaguely humanoid form.
A dog. No, this is
Oh
a
yeah,
dog.
vaguely canine form. And then as you attempt to bind them, they like start to like char at the edges as you attempt to bind them and fail. And then you get like a little bit of a nosebleed as you're like, oh, you have a headache now.
There's a sad whimper that kind of fades.
Yeah. And but so you still have the services of the spirit for the day until the sun sets, but it is not bound to you.
What could he use these 2 services for randomly? That's too funny. What's that?
Uber Eats.
Uber
Yeah.
Eats? Yeah, he's delivery. Like, I think they can. I don't remember off the top of my head. I won't worry about it. But yeah, he's gonna sleep this one off. That one hurt. That's like one of the hardest things he's tried, and it did not quite work out. So practice makes perfect. He will try again.
I was rolling very well.
That worked. It's part of the fun.
All right. Blitz, you spend some time at a gun range, and Decay, you spend your time toffing around your apartment floor.
Yeah, he keeps trying to use his right hand to like direct the energy, but he's realizing that is like a crutch that he's using himself, that the waves emit from his entire body. They don't come from his right hand. And so like every few minutes he forgets and he starts reaching his hand out and he's like, I don't need to do that. Entirely psychosomatic or whatnot. It's all in his head.
So Blitz, you wanted to call one of your fixer contacts and see if you could fence all the stuff you guys pulled from the last job.
Yes, but before I do that, I'm gonna text Decay, and the text is gonna say, "Hey man, you sure you don't want this car? Don't you take the bus?"
I text back and say, I don't know how to drive.
She texts back. Uh, she says, "LMAO." Okay.
Sorry, I don't understand your text language. It's older
Um,
than I am.
mhm. She'll text back. I think that's really funny that you don't know how to drive.
There is no reply.
Is there a little like ellipsis that shows that he starts to type and
No,
then
no, he's fully checked out when she mocks him.
Not everything has to be mocking. She could
I
be
think
laughing
it's
with him
really
for all you
funny that
know.
you don't know how to drive. Tell me that you didn't sound like that in your head. Tell me, Savannah. Tell me the truth.
say the words?
I can't speak the
Not
truth.
even a Lightweaver could lie about this shit.
And this is why Decay's perception has gone up. He detected the lie.
He heard it in the tones of her voice.
In the tones of her text message.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna go ahead and call Parcel.
Okay. What's your loyalty with Parcel?
I'm pulling it up. He's a 2 loyalty, 3 connection.
Okay. So yeah, he picks up, says, "Hey Blitz, what'd you need?"
Parcel, I have a bunch of stuff that my I don't think friend is the right word. I don't know if he's my friend yet. But I did a job with him, and he needs some stuffs fenced, and I know you can do that. So just trying to
Uh,
see.
sure. I mean, what is it?
Uh, and
Well,
she'll
okay,
like start.
hang on. He says, "Hang on. Come meet me down at the bar. Don't say it over the phone.
Okay.
Better to conduct biz in person."
200 rolls of toilet paper.
Okay, I'll head on down to the bar then.
So yeah, you normally find a Parcel down at O'Malley's Sports Bar and Grill.
Hmm.
Um, so you head on down there. He's sitting at his normal booth. All of the TVs up on the walls, playing various Denver Nuggets games, Urban Brawl, the Denver, I think it's Thunderers or Thunderheads, the Denver Thunderheads playing Urban Brawl. All of the Denver sports teams are still kicking in this era. Although they do play at a different stadium, they play at the Bronco Mania Stadium, not Mile High, because Mile High is in the public corporate council sector. When you walk in, go ahead and make me a perception check real quick.
Oh man, I didn't get any. That's rough.
Rough. Okay. Yeah. So.
I see nothing.
Yep. Everything seems normal. As you're walking in, you see and hear a news report from Lena Kane, the voice of Denver News Network. And she is talking about a unexplained shipment of medical goods and supplies showing up at a local community hospital, a local community clinic in the Cottonwood district of the Cass sector. And she's like talking to a reporter who's on the scene at this like small, kind of shabby looking single story clinic that has like the big red cross on it, and how they had gotten some sort of maybe anonymous donation. They're not really sure how these medical supplies showed up at this facility, but they're there now. And you go over and sit in Parcel's booth. He is a dwarf man in a very nice suit. He has a very large braided beard with lots of ornamentation, like rings and gems and all sorts of very nice things and very nice looking in his beard. So that's good to see you, Blitz. It's been a little while since we've worked together, but
I know it's been too long, Parcel.
so what do you got for me
I
today?
like working with you. So one of the things I have, I think this one's going to be the hardest, is a car.
How a car? That piece of cake. What kind of car?
She rattles off whatever kind it is because
It
I
was
don't
a
remember.
Ford
America.
Yeah, Ford America. Nice. Like, yeah, those things I got, you know, I can flip that pretty easily. What else?
Okay,
What else you
well,
got?
I thought that was gonna be hard, but of course it's a piece of cake for you, right, Parcel?
Hey, you know, when you know the people I do.
Hmm. Um. So I think the other stuff is a bunch of gear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we like filled the trunk full of it.
I can send you the list, Spoon, if
Yeah.
you don't have it.
No, I got it. So basically, if you are fencing everything through him, are you
Minus
keeping
2 HK 227 Nexus.
Okay. So you kept 2 of the HK
And then
227s.
I just finished editing, so I know that Cipher has all of the comm links.
Mm-hmm.
And she promised to fence and then sell the proceeds to all of us. Can't wait for his ADHD ass to forget that second part. He just
So let
his
me-
apartment is just filled with comm links.
I don't think I agreed to fence him. I was going to use him as spoofs for myself.
That's
did
not
say
what
were
you
gonna
told
sell them.
us.
You did.
I don't even have a fence. I don't think I would say that.
You said you were
So
going
I'm
to
gonna
jailbreak
delete
them and sell them.
those.
Yeah, jailbreak and
Oh,
sell them.
jailbreak
brother.
him, yeah, for sure. Sell him, I can't do that, but okay.
All right, maybe that was implied on our part.
Listen,
So
man,
all
you
of-
made
all
promises
of the-
your body can't cash.
So
Good
all
thing I
of the-
don't stay in my body much.
I don't think that's the brag you think it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I gotta redo some math here then.
And then I'm gonna add one of the gun with the silencer to my stuff.
And you have my HK 227.
I do. I am carrying it for you.
And I need you to bring it to me because I'm not confident my fake IDs can get through security with that gun.
How bad are they?
It's not that they're bad, it's just that at some point they'll fail, and I don't want to lose my illegal gun when I have a perfectly legal gun.
Mm.
Well,
I'm
you
not
just have to be specific on when you want it because you told Blitz just to hold on to it.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, cool. Another gun. I like guns.
That's crazy. What if we have some sort of chance meeting in this episode where you end up in my apartment building and then you have the gun with you so that you can hand it to me? Wouldn't
Dang,
that be crazy?
that would be insane.
That would be insane.
so insane.
That'd
It's
be
almost
crazy.
like I worked on that over dinner.
Damn, that's crazy, dude.
Slumber party.
If you all wind up anywhere near his actual house, he will kill you and hide the body so
Oh,
that no
no.
one questions where he actually lives.
How funny would it be if Cipher's just hanging out on the 63rd floor?
I want
he would-
I
he
want
would
to
never
imagine
actually do
Cipher
that.
getting bullied by the gangsters on the 63rd floor.
Cipher would never show up in person, but just I think it'd be really funny if you just go down the stairs and have to do like a triple take. Like what?
I love the idea of Cipher being like, ooh, I made their magazines fall out of their guns and I'm playing porn on their goggles. So they just drop their guns, take their headsets off, and stab him to death.
Got him.
He's bleeding out on the floor going, worth it.
Didn't see that one coming.
I owned those noobs. They got pawed. Unreal.
All right. So if you're fencing, so all of the gear
Yes.
except for the comm links and the 2 HK 227Xs.
Yes.
So the street value of that gear is 15,100.
Yes.
Nice.
Now,
But
hang on,
that's more than what's his
before
face
you
pays.
before you write that
Don't
down.
we only get like 10% of that?
Yes, correct. Before you write that down, you get 10%. Well, so it's so 10%, and then you get a additional 5 for every point of loyalty you have with your fence. In this case, parcel. So you get an additional 10%. So you get 20% of that.
Okay.
Without any negotiation rolls.
Why do we work with Jimmy Hot Hand?
That's what I've been saying.
You get 3,000 new yen. If you're just not if you're not negotiating with them at all, you get 3,000 new yen from the gear. If you do want to negotiate, you can go ahead and roll me a negotiation check.
See, and that's whether or not I do that, because I am not good at that. B, Parcel shoots straight with me for the most part. And C, I don't want to piss him off if I roll bad.
Take the money.
Sure.
Don't get greedy. Take the money.
That's what I'm
Push
going to
it.
do.
Push it.
Believe in yourself, Savannah. Your decision is the correct one.
Well, my decision is I'm not pushing my luck.
Yeah, your decision
Because
is the
Parcel
correct
is an upstanding man.
See, this is how you build loyalty.
He's a dwarf that's sitting down, but okay.
He's a sitting down dwarf.
So if
Oh.
Blitz is Decay's fenced, does that mean Decay gets 10% of that?
Also, for the car, the sticker price for a Ford Americar is 14,000. This is a used car, so you're gonna get some of that knocked off the top.
Fresh new upholstery.
Yeah, so
He's using any opportunity to take money away from us.
you're gonna get basically 20% knocked off the top.
Does that 20% get added back on?
No, it does not. So you're gonna get the 20% so you get 20% of the 80% value of the car, which turns out to be 2240. So your grand total from this fencing is 5,260.
All this has taught me is we need to steal new cars.
Sure. There's lots of new cars in the downtown region.
Cipher arranges to steal 50 of the most valuable cars in the city in one weekend. It's going to be gone in 60 seconds.
Yes.
It's
Please.
perfect.
That was back when Nick Cage still knew how to make good movies.
And I think Sniff still has the case of drugs and BTLs, right?
Yes, we did grab that, but I thought that actually Decay is the one who actually grabbed that from the room.
Yes.
Okay.
DK has the drugs and he handed the drugs out to the people of the 64th floor.
That's right.
Okay. All right. The Beatles as well, or just the drugs?
He specifically took the drugs. He didn't take
Okay.
any of the life chips or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if Sniff has those. Sniff has those.
He might, yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna say probably, because if you handed DK the case and then he
Mhm.
probably handed it back to you minus the drugs.
Okay. Yeah. Then I would try to get rid of those, like sell them. Yeah, I mean, certainly.
Do we want to retcon them as part of this deal?
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I don't think you want Sniff on the street saying, "Hey, anybody want these?"
If only
Okay.
you guys knew someone who knew someone who
Blitz?
could
I mean,
sell
he would
stuff.
definitely be going through Blitz to do this anyway. He would be like, "Oh, I realized I had these in my pocket. Can you send these over?" That's probably actually what happens. Is he eventually reaches out later in the week.
So that's an
That's
additional 1,000 new yen.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm glad we sold those.
Out of curiosity, how much would Wrench charge Cipher to repair a broken van window?
Call it like 100 new yen.
Interesting. Okay.
So 5,260 is the total.
Plus 1,000 for Sniff's drugs.
Okay, so 6,260.
That sounds right.
You want this on one cred stick or several?
What if you got
If I
4 cred
if I
sticks for
could get it.
1,565 apiece?
Basically, he's asking you,
Yeah.
do you want this split up for you, like your
she's about to-
assumption of your team?
Yeah, she's about to say, I need it put on 4.
It would be clever if you broke it up by 5 and you just kept 2 of them. Just saying. Cipher doesn't think that way, but
Blitz is an honest gal.
Okay, that divides fairly evenly.
Yeah, into 1,565.
hey, that number sounds familiar.
So he like slots 4 cred sticks into his comm link real quick and slides them across the table to you. And he's like, I'll have one of my guys pick it up outside.
Okay, sounds good.
And he like whistles across the bar, and another dwarf like turns away from the bar and comes over. He's like, go outside with Blitz and grab the stuff that she gives you.
I'll go ahead and shake Parcel's hand and then head out.
Yeah. As you leave, you see on one of the television screens the Detroit Motorheads getting absolutely stomped by the what's the Las Vegas Venom in an urban brawl match. All right, and then our camera cuts over to Atlas Heights. There is on Atlas Heights at several intervals throughout the floors. There are floors that are open to the air. They're kind of like atrium lobbies. They have like some plant life that is kind of struggling. They were meant to be like these very nice open air parks in the middle of this huge slab hab block to give its inhabitants, the feeling of a green space in the middle of their concrete living world. But they, since the Atlas Heights project has kind of failed, they're kind of run down. Not the trees don't have a ton of leaves. It's winter. Like not a lot of the shrubbery and greenery around is like thriving. But we do see in these areas the inhabitants have set up these large like markets where they have essentially kind of like farmers markets. People are selling their goods. People are selling hydroponic vegetables that they've grown. We see the young man that Decay saved. He has a soy taco stand that he's running. And we see Decay is also setting up here.
Now, I want to make clear, Spoon, that I'm opening the floor to this farmer's market to all of the other characters,
Sure.
including any NPCs you want to have come by.
Okay.
But his booth has exactly one chair, and there's a sign behind him that in Sparethiel says quality craftsmanship, and then in smaller English letters says original American craftsmanship, handmade, no power tools. DK, in order to look old-timey, is dressing the way that his father would dress. So his father was a millennial. So he's dressed in a flannel shirt that makes him look like a lumberjack or a computer programmer, jeans. He doesn't have a beard, but his hair is like immaculately oiled back and looks perfect. And he's wearing a short black apron that looks like maybe he should be owning a burger joint in a metro area. And he's doing his best to seem old-timey and original. He's also wearing black, latex gloves for no apparent reason. It just fits the image of millennials in the 2076 mind of the current generation,
I feel like this dude should own like a barbecue joint, not a burger joint with the black gloves and the black apron. Like,
Exactly.
he's like squeezing a side of brisket to show that it's still
the cow
got the
with all the
moisture in it.
cuts is on the wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's also got like a authentic American flag, not UCAS, not CAS, not any of that other shit. It's
stars
the
and
50
stripes.
stars on that flag, which current flags don't have that many stars, no matter what as of the UCAS or CAS you're from. He's just speaking to people in Americanized English without his vaguely Irish accent. And I did want to make clear that he speaks English very elvishly, but in Sparethiel, his elvish sounds Eastern European. That's why he has two different accents. He has a strange Sparethiel accent because he's from Portland, uh, not from Ireland. Yeah,
Um,
he's just, he's hawking to people, but there's no soul behind it. There's no light in his eyes. There's no joy. He's just like, come see the original American craftsmanship. Beautiful, handcrafted, no metal used at any point in this. Pins slammed into place. Metal not used. Yes, original American craftsmanship. Each chair sells for 4,000 new yen.
so you don't get a lot of hits. You see that in this market, you see members of all sorts of different gangs. There is a heavy contingent of Iron Jaws providing security, though, as these areas are typically neutral ground, and pretty much everybody kind of respects that. For the most part, this is typically a barter economy. There is some new yen changing hands, but it's typically mostly bartering.
That's okay. He
Mhm.
asked specifically for new yen, and
Sure, sure,
all of
sure.
his chairs cost exactly 4,000 new yen, which is 4 weeks at 1,000 new yen day job. There is no negotiating on this point whatsoever.
Sure.
Would anyone like to visit Decay's stand wandering around the farmer's market? Okay, Savannah is really nodding her head quite a lot.
There's
I
at
would
least one
love
customer.
to. I would love to. Blitz is not there to see you. She's actually talking to one of the Iron Jaws members that are floating around. A big, uh, she's a orc woman, big metal tusks, and she spots you and kind of goes, and then heads over to you.
The Spider-Man meme, just
Yeah.
As she's walking over, he makes sure to hold out a business card for his home business, which is quality craftsmanship, but it's written in Sperethiel. And it says that his name is Bebop Rocksteady.
No, it does not.
It does. That's my fake sin. It's one of my fake sins. Hello,
She'll take.
ma'am. I suspect that this is the first time the two of us have ever met. Are you interested, perhaps, in buying a classic piece of American craftsmanship?
I was hoping you would tell me all about it because I really like the spindles.
I handcrafted those myself, and you wouldn't believe the handcrafting that goes into it.
I feel like I might have a vague idea.
Perhaps you do. All of these are American colonial style chairs, a taste of the 1800s in the 21st century. I
A
would
long
point
time
the
ago.
hooks here and here, just in case you wanted to attach any sort of leather or padding to the chair. They will affix firmly to these hooks.
You put the hooks on yourself too?
I carve the hooks directly into the chair. Yes. Did you bring my money, Blitz? You got my money on you? What about my gun,
Oh, I thought
Blitz?
I wasn't supposed to know you.
The people around here know me by different names, and it would behoove people who might be interested in how our conversation begins to believe a different story.
Okay, well, can you step away from your booth or do you want to do that here?
I think we should do it here.
Okay.
I think it's
She's
perfectly
gonna
natural for two people at a farmer's market to do business, which might involve an exchange of cred sticks and firearms.
okay. Well, she's gonna hand you a cred stick,
Yeah.
and then she's gonna hand you your gun.
Cool. That gun disappears into a duffel bag on the floor very quickly before many people take a look at it.
And she's gonna say, you've been doing this a long time? Like making chairs?
How old are you, Blitz?
Like, I think Blitz is like 29.
I've been making these chairs for almost longer than you've been alive. I wish I could say longer than you were alive because that sounds so much more poetic, but almost longer than you've been alive. I've been making chairs in Denver. What a wonderful job it is. Truly a use of my talents that is worthwhile. You know, Blitz, it's a good thing that you're here, actually. I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
Do you remember that door at the AWR research facility in the basement we never went back in and checked on?
Yes.
I was thinking we don't need to cut a fixer in on that. We know the risks. We know the neighborhood it's in. We've got the location. Pure profit on our part. You and me will split. Let's say we bring in two more people, a cybersecurity expert and some sort of true magician to keep an eye on anything magical in astral space, given that it's a magical research facility. You, if you can find people to fill it in and drive me there in your very nice new car, I think we can solidly split that four ways. No need to get a fixer involved. And we should probably do it before Cipher and Sniff arrange a little crusade on their own.
Okay. Um, I did sell the car.
Well, I'm sure someone will be able to give me a ride.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out. I have a bike. You can sit on the back and just kind of,
Do you have a spare helmet?
yeah.
Okay, good, because public regulations in the city of Denver still prohibit the riding of motor vehicles without a helmet.
I don't really know what to say to that, DK. You're interesting.
Have you considered adding a wonderful quality craftsmanship chair? Sorry, excuse me. Have you considered adding a wonderful quality craftsmanship chair with American colonial style, no power tools, handmade to your living room?
How much?
4,000 new yen.
Not today, but I love it.
I normally sell it to overly rich people.
You think you could teach me how to make this?
I can show you the motions. I don't think you've got the magic in you, Blitz.
No, I don't think so either. But I like working with my hands. So I'm always looking to learn something new to work them.
Here are my office hours. I work 1 day a week, 10 hours a day. And I go to one farmer's market
I think that's
time a
exactly how
month.
that quality works.
Okay.
I'm a small business owner, Spoon. You can't tell me what hours I work. I tell you what hours I work.
I was just thinking back to the calculation of where that $4,000 price came from, though.
I was straightforward when I said it. He works 4 weeks in a month because most months have only 4 weeks and change. 1,000 new yen a week according to the day job quality, which is why he gets paid 4,000 new yen. No barter, no exchange, no discount. He will not bend on this point. Only rich people will buy this chair and then they'll never use it properly, which is fine. He does it because it's calming to him, not because he needs the money. Although, let's be clear, he does need the money. He, but he can also kill people to get money, which he does enjoy. If you want me to teach you, you will arrive at this warehouse on this floor in this building during this time, Tuesdays from 8 to 6 p.m.
Okay, I'll be there. I'm serious. I'll be there. You look like you don't believe me.
I just have that kind of face.
Okay, this has been nice.
Out of all of the Shadowrunners I know that are still alive, you're a straight shooter. I vaguely trust you in a way that I don't trust many people.
I appreciate that.
Well, if you're not going to buy the chair, I do need you to move on. There could be a
Yeah.
paying customer here today.
Okay, it's been nice.
Would anyone else like to show up at the farmer's market?
So as Blitz steps away, there is a very skinny man standing behind her that looks familiar to you, DK.
Yeah.
You last saw him after you punched out the back window of his van.
Yeah. Is it Cipher or is it Ryan Mills?
It is Cipher.
Okay. I hand him a card that also says that my name is Bebop Rocksteady and begin the spiel about quality craftsmanship, original American craftsmanship, colonial style, handmade, no power tools. What do you think, son? Could you find something like this in your living room?
Mr.
Rocksteady. Please call me Bebop.
Miss Bebop. Do you do custom orders?
No. All of my
And you
chairs are
slowly
exactly
see him
like
slide
this.
something back into his pocket as if he wasn't going to request something specific. This isn't easy for me. I don't come out in public ever, but
You have that aura about you, yes.
good. I was worried it was too subtle. After our last discussion, I was trying to find information on your nephew on how to help him, and I couldn't find much. And I want to help.
I see.
Mr. Rocksteady, Bebop.
Now, if you recall, I didn't say that my nephew could be found. I know where to find him. It's a cemetery. He's dead.
Oh.
Decay puts a hand on your shoulder, which for a lot of people would seem, calming and maybe paternal, but for Decay, it's absolutely murderous.
Several of the gangers look over towards the stall.
I believe I told you that if you continued the lifestyle you were currently leading, young man, you would end up dead in the street like my nephew. Perhaps if you listen when people are speaking to you, instead of playing sorry, I can't do copyrighted things. Mario Kart 8 on Coconut Mall, you might understand that I'm quite serious when I say that you need to consider a life as a sinner, because you certainly are not built out to be a saint. And you certainly are also not sinless yourself.
I think like you, I try to have a balance. We just do it differently. But I guess I came here in error. And as I'm shuffling, getting up out of the chair, probably trip, fall, drop the piece of paper that I tried to scurry away.
All right. DK sees the piece of paper with his new perception.
And I go back to my van and try to skedaddle.
What's on the piece of paper?
It was a custom order for a mahogany cyber deck to hide his fake, basically all of his.
You want a wood cyber deck?
To hide a fake comlink in, because it's fake.
Interesting.
And it would be custom made by someone that he thinks he can actually trust still.
All right. DK keeps this, and now he's thinking, Cipher, he's still super pissed at Cipher and may kill him randomly just for the insult. But there is a challenge in making something totally new for the first time in 20 years.
It looks like a chessboard where certain pieces of the chessboard are like what do you call them? Like buttons that you press and like a puzzle box.
And this is meant to be strapped to your arm, Yu-Gi-Oh style, right? Okay, just making sure I understand that your dual disc is massive.
but you also know he doesn't need it or use it.
Yes, I understand.
So it's really more of like an art piece.
But how to get the buttons working without power tools?
That is the
DK
challenge
might
for
have
the
to work with
creator.
metal. Well, I guess rubber, you can make springs out of non-metal material, and rubber isn't metal. Can he do it all in wood, though? I
It-
need real woodworkers because I'm not one to
I'm
comment
thinking of
on
it.
this video and say whether this is possible.
I'm thinking of it more. Perhaps buttons was not the right direction, but just like a puzzle box where
Sure, sure.
only opens when you move the chess squares in the right configuration.
Oh, it slides. It slides. That's all.
Yes.
Someone else is like, I don't understand how your deck works. And you're like, that's right, you don't. It may
Exactly.
look like I'm hitting things randomly and sliding them around, but it's an algorithm that only makes sense to me. Secretly,
myself.
inside, you're like, no, it doesn't make any sense. I'm just
And
hitting
then
random
when
buttons.
it opens, it's an
Wiggle,
entirely
wiggle.
tiny little keyboard that doesn't do anything. 'cause I
Oh,
don't
it's
need
like
it.
getting an SSD on Temu, and then you open it up, and it's just a tiny little USB drive inside of an SSD.
Perfect.
Cipher uses it purely as a fidget toy. Like,
Yeah, that was it. I was going to reveal that in like 2 episodes. That's it. It becomes this fidget stick, fidget spinner.
Yeah. Sniff, is there any chance you'd like to show up?
I just feel like that might be too much serendipity.
All right.
Um, Blitz needs to make some phone calls if we're
Are you
going to go
calling?
investigate this door, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you have
Okay.
a potential self-propelled job.
I need to buy a spell off Gideon as well.
Yes, yeah, we will get there. All right, so let's go ahead and make those phone calls.
Okay. We need a someone who knows the Matrix. So she's gonna call her friend Pinball,
Okay.
who is a hacker,
Okay.
and she's gonna ask Pinball if she's busy.
Pinball says, like, do you text her or do you call her?
I'm gonna call her.
Okay. So you call her up and she answers after a few rings, going, hello?
Hey, Pinball, I got a job, lead for a job. Are you busy? Maybe this week?
She's like, I'm on a long-term gig right now. Pulling some security for another team. So sorry, can't help you out.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. You're busy. Got it. I'll just call someone else.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.
Okay, and she hangs up.
Mhm.
She thinks for a second, and then she goes, okay, and then she calls kill code.
Kill code picks up after the third or fourth ring.
Mhm.
Are you doing this during the day?
Mhm.
Okay, so he sounds a little sleepy.
Yeah.
He goes, "What? Why are you calling me?"
I need your help for a job this week. Are you busy?
Yes.
Okay. I do have a quick question before I let you go and go back to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Was Cap your New Year's kiss?
Goodbye, Blitz. You hear him hang up the phone.
She calls Sniff.
He answers. Hello?
Sniff. Hey, it's Blitz. You probably
Oh.
knew that from the caller ID.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I got a lead on a job, and I need a mage. Was wondering if you're busy.
Nothing pressing, depending on the time of the day here.
Okay. I don't have the exact details about when we're gonna go, but I'm gonna go look at that super scary secret door that we saw on our last job.
All right, well, yeah. Still a thread to pull there.
Yeah.
Might be worth checking out.
Um, do you have Cypher's number?
I do. Yeah. We need a hacker for this one, you think?
Yeah, and my other two are busy.
I can reach out. Would you
Okay.
like me to just pass his contact info to you? I don't think he would
Yeah.
mind. All
No,
right,
yeah.
I'll send it over.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'll let you know when I have more information on when we're gonna go.
I'll keep an eye on the comm for details.
I'll call Cipher.
Hello.
Bye, Sniff.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying you were calling.
It's okay. I'm gonna call Cipher now.
Hello.
Cipher. Hey.
Blitz. Sound like Blitz.
Yep, this is Blitz.
Did
Ah.
Sniff, right? So you
Yeah.
must be.
Listen, I'm really desperate for a hacker, and my other two are busy, and I was wondering if you're not busy.
Okay. I was only your third choice? Oh, that's so nice. Wait. Does Decay know? I was in line right after him, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. I was standing right behind you the whole time, only for well, not the whole time. I wasn't listening or anything, but I'm going to stop talking.
How about I just text you when I know more about the job?
Okay, sounds good. Can't wait.
She hangs up.
DK definitely does not know.
All right. So Sniff, you are going to contact Gideon Graves to grab a spell formula.
Yeah.
All right. What is your loyalty with Gideon?
4.
4. Okay. Yeah. So you get. He picks up almost immediately. Does he know you as Sniff?
Oh. Yeah. I'd say
Okay.
that's probably the most comfortable one for him.
All right. Yeah. So you hear his voice on the other end of the line. Sniff.
Hey, Gideon.
Yeah. Hey. What do you
Nice
need?
to chat. A couple things. I was looking for a new spell formula specifically. There's been needed to move a little quicker lately. I was looking for some improved reflexes.
Okay. Yeah. I think. Let me go check my my stock.
That'd be great.
So go ahead and roll me a etiquette plus connection.
Okay. Where's etiquette? How's this work?
So etiquette is your charisma plus the etiquette skill. So it'd be if you have a charisma influence group, it would be that.
Okay. Yes.
So
Perfect.
yeah, it'd be your influence group plus whatever Gideon's connection rating is.
Okay. And that would be a 3. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. So he comes back on the line. He's like, yeah, I've got a spell formula. You want to swing by the shop?
Yeah. I'll be done in a few.
Okay, great. See you in a little bit.
Sounds great. Sniff heads on over.
Okay. So he does have that's a health spell, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So 500. Yeah, so it'd be it would just be looks like 500 New Yen for it.
Easy peasy. He hands him maybe Viper's cred stick there.
Okay. Sure. He checks it real quick and goes, all right. And he pulls out a vellum page with it looks like what looks like handwritten ink on it, and slides it over to you and says, this is the formula for your tradition.
And Sniff reviews it real quick, just quick speed read, tucks it into his probably a briefcase or something he's carrying with him.
Yeah.
And
it's
then,
like a bunch of it almost looks like mathematics, right? Because you're a hermetic tradition, so it's a lot of A plus C equals X, except for the A and the C are like weird arcane symbols.
manipulation of forces, vectors that don't exist.
Exactly.
Beautiful. While I'm here, Gideon, though, I did have another question. I've been doing
Sure.
some research, been looking into some metaplanar theories. I came across something. The only thing term I could find something like a planar push theory. There's a doctor's name that came up, Muriel. I don't know if that does that ring a bell?
Hmm. Dr. Muriel.
It was an interesting theory. I was really looking to
Let me
learn a little
think.
bit more.
He's kind of squints his eyes for a second, thinking, like tilts his head to one side, says, "Yeah, that the name rings a bell. He was a teacher, I think, at MIT and T. Some of my uh, younger clientele took some of his classes uh, back in the '60s.
Yeah, okay. Hasn't been heard from a long time.
Yeah, there's if I remember something, it was he went on. He was doing some field work in Aslan, and nobody's heard from him after that.
Hmm.
Down
Aslan
in
man before.
Panama, I think it was. I don't remember exactly, but um, yeah, the schools he's on. The school still has him, I think, as on sabbatical or leave or something
Hmm.
like that. But it's been almost 2 decades.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid some payout, probably all those bureaucracies. Oh, well, that's interesting, definitely. I was really hoping to learn some more about, the ins and outs of what he was studying, but
Yeah,
hey, that's interesting. It's a
I think
read.
he was a physics teacher before, uh, and then you know when he awakened, got a degree in magic theory as well.
You know, it's a natural progression to a degree. How'd you get into the game, Gideon?
Ah, uh, us awakened folk of pretty far and few between. So, uh, I did a little bit of this and that, and finally settled down here in Denver. And you've never actually gotten a straight answer to this
Yeah.
question.
This is not the first time Sniff has asked by any
Yeah,
means.
it's like I get by. Nothing too dramatic.
Well, I appreciate your existence. I appreciate that you wound up here.
We gonna go get beer soon, or what? What's the?
That'd be great. I recently had an experience. Man, it's a weird world out there, weird life. It's a bit stressful, that's for sure.
Don't have to tell me. I have lots of stuff coming through my doors.
You get it. You get it. You ever heard the Sonic adepts? These folks. That's a bit unnerving.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I know a guy who is one.
Oh, now see, it's a small community here. It's got to be the same guy.
I mean, how many adepts that use sound?
Yeah, this is a unique one. You met DK?
Oh yeah,
All right.
it's kind of hard to forget.
You wouldn't happen to have his contact info by chance?
Roll me a negotiation plus his loyalty to you.
Okay. So influence and then +4. Okay. 3.
3. Okay. He kind of narrows his eyes against what do you need it for?
Had a job offer come in. I thought I could use a little bit of extra muscle, actually.
Okay. Yeah, all right. You can see he's kind of like he's kind of waffling, is not wanting to give out personal information, but also you're his friend.
Sniff would hold up the hand a little and be like, "Hey, don't feel like you got to push it."
I'll shoot him a message and I'll let him know that you were looking for him.
That'll be perfect.
All right. Hopefully the spell formula works out for you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna go take a look at it. Want to get this one up here as quick as I can here. I'll see you around, Gideon. I'll hit you up for that beer.
Sounds good. And as you walk out of the shop, he's like pulling out his comm link, and he sends Decay a text that says, "Hey, Gideon, looking. Are you looking for work?"
He sends a text message back saying, "I've got some things on the line. What are you offering?"
He says, "Chummer named Sniff is looking for some extra muscle on a job."
I send a text message back saying, "Last time I worked with him, I got a bad feeling. Period. Do you have a lead on this chum? Question mark. Trustworthy? Question mark."
I think he replies, "It's like, yeah, Sniff is a good guy. We go a little ways back. I trust him."
I reply, "Well, if you trust him, send me his contact details, and I'm sure that whatever fixer cut he's supposed to give you, you can trust him to do that."
So he shoots you Sniff's comm code.
Okay, now I know he's for real. There's no way a guy who's got such high loyalty towards me would, screw around on this. So,
That's right.
all right, I'll text Sniff and say, "This is DK."
Fantastic.
Now, we've said DK's name out loud a lot, but when he puts DK in, it's D.A. Clearly initials, not a name.
I was going to ask about this in this scenario as well, because Sniff has said it the whole time as if it's decay, the word
Yes.
decaying, right? He starts to say it differently in his head, though. DK. There's more of a
Donkey Kong. No, sorry,
That's
I
right.
can't do copyrighted stuff.
And then Sniff does shoot some details. Essentially, my thought with this is related to Sniff's day job at the Midnight Nose. There's probably some job that he can pull, DK into to make maybe 500 credits, roughly, out of that, and essentially pull it out of Sniff's funds.
I think one of the suggestions you shot to me was teaching you how to use improved reflexes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
he'll
like
give
that.
you tutorial training on how to move mana correctly.
All right.
He's like, "Yeah, I understand. Mages don't know how to use mana correctly. They need to borrow it from." No, Sniff, I understand. You have to borrow it from the environment around you because you can't move it through your body correctly. Don't
I
worry,
think
I'll show you how it works.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Actually, I think that helps too, because there's like a learning test that I have to make to even learn the thing, as I recall. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, so page 182 is what you're looking for in the core book.
Okay.
So learning a spell. Once the magician has access to a spell formula or teacher, they make a spellcasting plus intuition threshold 5 1-day extended test.
Okay.
Totem modifiers and assistants of bound spirits may also add dice.
Okay. So I need to do spellcasting plus intuition and okay, we'll just do this as a normal roll because I don't think it's got like a okay, so start at 4 for the spellcasting, and then intuition is 5, so 9. 3 successes.
So you spend 1 day. Actually, let me double check, because if you get a teacher,
Oh yeah, DK
instructors can make an instruction test.
There we go.
Oh boy, you're not remotely ready for this. What's the default on instruction?
So the instruction is
You better hope it's not logic.
Instruction plus charisma.
All right, I'm all right at charisma.
The best salesman I've ever seen.
I'll put 1 point of edge behind this.
Oh,
Are you
Yeah, I'm
pre-edging?
pre-spending it.
Okay. So add your edge pool in, and
hey,
3
Okay.
successes.
so
pretty good.
I believe that is for every 2 hits. So you get an additional dice.
Ooh, okay. To roll one more.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay. So
that's a
it
hit.
turns it to 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So you are on like the cusp of learning the spell after day 1.
Okay. It's like it's getting there. I can feel it.
DK is just like, now here's the problem with learning this, Sniff, is that someone like Blitz, they have to activate the cyberware, and some people they get bored traveling at 2, 3, or 4 times speed all the time because everyone else looks like they're going so slow. And you little mages, when you're moving the mana around your body, it's hard to sustain it for very long, but the bigger problem is that it's very boring for people who think a lot to spend an enormous amount of time waiting for someone to finish their sentences. They're so busy getting ready to spew whatever they think out of their mouths that they start interrupting everyone. No, no. I want you to imagine that as an adept, my improved reflexes is always on all the time. All of you are moving so slowly to me constantly.
Sounds half a nightmare, half a
You're all extremely
nice.
boring. Yes, life sucks. Now, observe how I move the mana throughout my body. Oh, wait,
Alright.
you can't because you can't see the mana moving through my body. I'll show you and trace the movement. Try to do it that way within your own body.
It's got a Sharpie.
I mean, Decay is just like enormously condescending about mages not being naturally adept at magic.
Yeah. And part of this for Sniff is he's like letting DK teach him the whole nine, taking it all in, not like in any way being snarky back, just like letting him have this moment fully. Because part of this is Sniff was well aware that DK had that extremely negative reaction, and this is his way of trying to, yeah, like get back in the good graces. Like, yes, please teach me something. Do me this favor. Oh, you're so wonderful.
As
You're
you
a
reach
fantastic person.
the end of the first day and you nearly get the entire spell in one day, he goes, all right, well, you did a lot better than I thought I would. I was coming down hard on you because a lot of students don't focus and a lot of mages don't take Adept seriously. So I apologize. It's clear that you're a serious player and a serious student. And you know what? I'm sorry for my actions on the last job. I suspected you, but it's clear nothing came out of it. I'm sure you only had the team's best interests at heart. Sometimes my intuition's just wrong, I guess.
Yeah, and Sniff holds his hand out and says, DK, hey, my only interest was getting that job done. And I really appreciate you helping me out like this. And gotta say, I your competence cannot be denied.
DK reaches out to shake Sniff's hand, and then he flashes back to Cipher physically cringing away and a bunch of Iron Jaws like physically getting ready to come in.
Yeah.
And he like pauses briefly before
Sniff
shaking
is
your
making
hand.
your eye contact with
Yeah.
DK too, fully, like making sure that DK understands that like Sniff fully gets what he is doing from that perspective.
He finally completes the handshake and says, it's good to have a peer who understands. And soon, if you're studious, perhaps tomorrow, you might be able to access the magic too.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully I can keep up with you and Blitz a little easier.
Sure, you're not going to need me as a teacher tomorrow. I'm going to stay home. I'm sure you can finish the last of it.
I appreciate your time.
Right.
We'll see you around.
I gotta call a taxi.
And since there's only 1 success left on this test, you can just go ahead and buy hits.
Okay.
And you now know the increased reflexes spell.
Hell yeah.
And I think our final scene for this episode will be.
Now hold on.
Oh, okay.
Last time you said it was a final scene, and then it wasn't a final scene. So choose your words carefully, director. Is this the final scene, or is it the final scene?
This is the final scene.
All right, go ahead.
And we see the ruined outline of the AWR building in the Aurora Barrens. And the camera goes through the front door down through the hallways, finding a stairwell into the basement where we see the door that was closed and inaccessible to the team last time, with its locks and dusty floor in front of it that now has an extra set of footsteps through the dust.
I want to imagine as the camera's going through the building, it's got a Stranger Things 1980s synthwave style.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Horror rock track going.
Fully.
Just to ambient music to like raise your blood pressure just enough. Okay. Nice final scene. Nothing else you want to...
Now for the
Is that one
final
more?
scene. No, just
All right.
kidding.
There it is.
The stinger. That's what we call it. Come on.
I was
One
considering...
more song. One more.
There is... I don't know if it's worth doing, but if you're a Dimension 20 fan, you know that they do the on the next episode thing where they take like 1-second clips of top scenes from the next episode. We could technically attempt that for the next arc, but it would delay the rollout of episodes an entire week.
Yeah.
What do you think the top 1-second clip segments from this episode would be to drop into the last one?
Absolutely. DK's 1-second scene is DK talking down to Cipher, being like, I told you my nephew was dead. And Cipher being like, oh, I didn't hear that part.
Everyone heard it but Cipher, I guess.
Yeah.
He was multitasking. He was playing, what'd you call it?
Mario
Karting.
Yeah.
Mario Karting.
You know, it's about the Italian
Oh, no.
Italian carpenter, Martio. He uses go-karts at a party. Martio Karty.
I feel like it's not acceptable to say the bad guy is called the Windows browser.
It's definitely not Luigi Bowser. For reference, that was my character's Shadowrunner name in the secret game with Spoon.
Yeah.
And now you're DK, so you're just gonna go through the whole cast list, huh?
I mean, yeah.
I
But
believe he
it's,
told Cipher to call him Bebop, so
yeah, Bebop Rocksteady, of course.
Which confused him.
That's probably his real name.
I love that.
But what does DK stand for?
Indeed. What does
Don't
DK
know.
stand for? Don't know.
Delivering
Yeah, exactly.
the Dark Knight.
Delivering
Don't-
kittens.
My favorite cyberpunk novel is Snow Crash, and in it there's a character who is introduced as YT pretty early on, and you assume it's about her name, but actually it just stands for yours truly, and they don't reveal that until pretty far into the novel. Snow Crash, the greatest. It's it's the GOAT. It's the greatest of all time.
So good.
So
It is one of the
assuming that
classics.
DK means don't know is pretty good, but no, it does actually stand for a real name. Is that DK's real name? No. DK is also a fake sin. It's just
Alrighty.
fake sins all the way down with this guy.
Nothing but fake sins.
I was thinking
The
of buying
Russian doll.
another fake sin this
Yeah,
episode.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I need to pay rent first.
That's true. I mean, it's only like the third, I think, at this point. So you got a whole month.
We have everyone here at the end of the episode for the first time since episode 1. So we're going to go around the clock and ask who everyone thought was the top Shadowrunner who shadowed this time around. Starting with Cipher. Who do you think shadowed the shadowiest?
I'm going to go with, I think, Sniff, because he was involved in the most what felt like actual progression and like actually like bettering himself towards the campaign. Blitz was a very close second, because Blitz is focused, I think, more on like helping the group, which, you know, admirable, helpful, and God knows we need it because we're a dysfunctional bunch of children. But I feel like Sniff was I don't know, in an episode where we were really focusing on how do you spend karma and how do you RP it. I think Sniff wins that award for me.
All right, Sniff, who shadowed?
I think my pick is Blitz in terms of, the overall like Shadowrun community and things that would have to be happening. I think Blitz touched all the actual like this is what you do after a job. Like
It is. You talk to a bunch of people and get paid,
that's right.
and then dish out the money.
Blitz, who shadowed? It's okay to say yourself.
Hell yeah.
No, I don't want to say myself. That's not fair.
You can say yourself. I'm giving you permission.
I mean, it was fun to make those phone calls. But I'd probably go with Sniff.
A very small part of me was hoping that you would then say Decay, just so it puts pressure on AP to be like, are you fucking serious? Now to go around the circle, I have to say Cipher. It's not going to fucking happen.
I actually was going to say Sniper. I think that it's big of Cipher after the back of his car got destroyed to come talk to DK.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a big deal. And I think DK actually understands that like DK basically threatened to kill him and Cypher still showed up and wanted stuff as well. Although I love the idea that because Cypher didn't know DK was the one doing the woodworking, he was looking for a custom woodworker and still ended up finding DK anyway in a truly horrifying twist of fate.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's my vote. So we got 2 for Sniff, Sniper gets 1, Blitz gets 1. Spoon, would you like to tie things up here?
I'm gonna go with DK.
Oh yeah.
Just because I thought your soulless American salesman was hilarious.
You don't think that the accent or the selling was hilarious. You thought the description of the outfit was funny. Let's
Perfect.
Perfect.
I mean,
I've been waiting all week to drop that. I saw someone dressed like that, and I was like, this is perfect. This is going to be how DK sells things. Would it be too much to have an Uncle Sam hat? I think so. I'm not going to take that from Samuel L. Jackson, but I wanted it so badly.
I think it's something where the sum is greater than the parts, like with the outfit, the like soulless delivery of like handcrafted American chairs, like just completely monotone.
Very the price funny. Is what it is.
Yeah, the price
Zero
is
negotiation.
Like, people are like right next to you, like swapping like like a case of like water purifier parts for like a thing of blueberries, and you're over there like 4,000 new yen.
No,
I don't want your stuff. 4,000 new yen.
One chair, because you don't want a lot of customers. Just one person at a time.
Yeah,
the whole time wearing the black like gloves.
Yeah,
right?
the black gloves.
Wow, fantastic. Do I want to do okay, next time's shadow fact will be a question from me, and it is a question of who your character's favorite vice president of the United States is. You not only do you have to name a person, you must also explain why. I'm making a motherfucker do homework about America.
Civics test.
Name Let's 5 go. Vice presidents. Any of you.
Okay. Are we making it like from the founding of America to
yes, United States presidents?
All right, fair enough.
Does this include like future from our time? Like, do I have to look that shit like cyber?
You can also look up UCAS vice presidents as well. Yeah. They are listed officially. Several UCAS vice presidents become presidents, mostly because the presidents die
or are extremely corrupt.
Yeah, sure.
Voted out of office. I mean, these are completely fictional.
Completely fictional
UCAS
where
presidents.
A businessman ends up becoming a president of the UCAS and is then removed and deleted from history and replaced by a militant general, I believe. Totally normal thing that happens in the UCAS all the time. History is fun. How much karma do we get, Director? Give me. Because I'm gonna have to open instruction next time. Now that I'm also teaching Blitz, I feel like DK feels bad about being an asshole to Sniff. He was like, I have to teach this guy the same way I teach every motherfucker. These impatient youth whippersnappers that don't give a fuck about respect. And then Sniff is like, please I want to learn sincerely. Show me how to do it. He's like, damn it, now I have to learn how to fucking do this.
We'll go 3 karma for this session.
3 karma.
Yeah.
That's
You
big
guys
numbers.
did good. You got, your mage picked up increased reflexes. That's freaking huge. Like specifically for Sniff, like that's a massive spell. Like the next step is getting a sustaining focus. So
Yeah, I need one of those big time.
I think the next step might be
to keep running.
succeeding at binding a spirit at some point. But
yeah, that's also true.
That was a rough roll. That was a rough roll.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Now, does my edge reset because we're in downtime and there's an infinite amount of time passing, or am I locked into that one edge?
Your edge will reset.
Perfect. I would be fine if it didn't, but if it does, it's also good. Perfect. Any we don't normally have the time to do that, but any post episode thoughts we want to share before we wrap this one up, truly? Also, are we good for next week?
Yep.
Okay,
Could be.
locked in.
Yeah.
Any post episode thoughts? Any cool down anybody wants to share with the audience?
I just want to say I'm loving our group's social interactions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the place, but I mean, personally, I watch it twice, right? We review it and then you post it and I watch it again. So
Yeah. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. The work you're putting into the editing, actually, like when I rewatch it, it's like it shows, and it's really actually just like a nice to refresh your memory on what happened the whole way through too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's great.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that, even if it doesn't show on my face, because like Decay, showing emotions is weakness. And I'm a perfectly logical being who doesn't do that.
I have learned you can't just say nice things though. You have to make fun of it at some point. Otherwise, AP doesn't believe it.
No, I say I only accept compliments I believe that I deserve. You guys said my editing looks like I put the work in, and I'm over here going, yeah, I fucking put the work in. I accept this compliment.